A very good morning. It's Mark here, Tuesday, January the 13th, going on 8 a.m. Eastern. That's going on 1 p.m. GMT. A US session about to get underway. Let's have a look how the market's shaping up this morning. Starting on the US dollar index and US dollar strength to start the day. We saw US dollar strength from the get-go, Asian session, European session, and looking good going into the US session. Note that at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, in 30 minutes, we do have CPI data being released, and that will certainly affect the market, particularly the US dollar. So keep a watch out for that. But interesting to see that since the beginning of the year, US dollar strength has not been derailed. Yesterday, we got early sell-off. US dollar fought its way back. You see the wicket left behind. And so far today, looking strong going into the US session. We'll see whether that can be maintained and whether buyers can get up to this 99 level, perhaps higher, or if there's going to be a turnaround from strong US to weak US, and sellers look down at the 98.65 support level. US S&P 500. Strong day yesterday, record high yesterday, and so far today in the futures market, Wall Street opens up in about an hour and a half. Not much activity, a little bit of a gap down to start, but hanging around that 7,000 level, which is an important and pivotal level. Buyers will want to maintain above these 7,000. Sellers will want to get below that 7,000 level. I believe we'll start to see some activity once Wall Street opens up, and bear in mind we'll have had the CPI release from then. We'll see whether buyers can continue with this demand, the uptrend, and buying US dollar equities, the strength we've seen in US dollar equities, or if there's going to be some turnaround at this level. Gold. Another strong day yesterday. We saw that another record high. So far today, hanging around the 4,600 level, still a very high level to be at. Buyers haven't added on today as yet. Buyers will look up at the yesterday's high, 4,627. So far, resistance today, 4,600. I've got support at 4,572. We definitely do have, from a technical perspective, we do have overbought conditions. RSI was sitting at around that 70 level. Bout of profit taking wouldn't be surprising, but so far we haven't seen sellers step in. Buyers looking up at this record high from yesterday. If sellers do step in, they'll be looking down at that 4,500 level. But gold's still looking strong going into the US session. Brent oil. A lot of movement in Brent oil. And another big move today. You can see that following up. It's been 5 consecutive days now. Higher lows, higher highs. I've got support at 63.84. I've got resistance at 65.21. So that $65 level, which was the next level to be targeted and has been hit so far. And it has hit this level the end of last year in October. We saw again in November, unable to break higher, but it didn't come from where we see this strong rally coming. So perhaps continued demand for oil, and certainly the crisis in Iran, the uncertainty, the threat of US intervention has all affected and brought up supply concerns regarding oil. We'll see whether that continues and buyers push higher, break above this intraday resistance and this previous resistance level towards the end of last year, or if sellers do step in. But certainly off to another strong start, oil. Bitcoin. Bitcoin following up kind of very gently with a higher high from yesterday. I've got support at 90,800. I've got resistance at 92,600, close to a $2,000 range. EMAs look like they want to cross to the upside on the daily as well. but certainly still relatively flat, hanging around that 91,000. As we've seen, buyers unable to break above this 94. We'll see if buyers can go up and test that level again if there's demand for Bitcoin. Alternatively, if we get a turnaround, sellers step in, they'll be looking at today's support at that 91,000 and look lower, maybe look to that 88,000 comfort level, which we saw towards the end of last year. When I look at the bigger picture, for me, buyers is still down. Bitcoin hasn't yet recovered from that drop we saw October, November last year from 126,000 all the way down to that 80,000 level. Yes, a bit of a fight back, and buyers would look at this slightly higher lows if you look at the big picture from November, slightly higher low in December. Again, same thing, middle of December, and even now, slightly higher low at 89, but we haven't seen higher highs at all, and we've seen buyers are struggling to get above this 94,000 level. Good trading. Keep that discipline. I'll see you at the end of the session.